we'll have to give 1 to 2 tests at the end of the week over the subject that we have studied. But whenever they ask questions on IR, almost 50 to 60% of the questions come from the current affairs magazine that we study. No need of investing too much of time like 3 or 4 days or even a week for economic survey. I shall be providing a roadmap for the next 4 months, both for the first timers as well as those aspirants who have given prelims prior but unfortunately were not able to clear it. Here for every 4 days, we'll have to finish one subject and give 2 tests on the 5th day. Here we're dedicating 10 subjects, 10 weeks for 10 different pillars. So once you revise twice, you have that confidence to give the full length test because you know that things have not worked for you in the past, but this is the time that you need to pull up your socks and work towards it. It is important that you give one test. When you sit and recall whatever you learned, it gives you confidence and it gives you a sense of satisfaction. Hello everyone, welcome to India for IAS. My name is Shreyas and in this video I shall be discussing about the 120 days prelim strategy. A brief intro about myself. My name is Shreyas and I have cleared CSE cutoff 4 times in the year 22, 23, 24 and 25. I have also cleared the IFOS cutoff 23 and 24. So there are certain things which I did when I was preparing. There are certain things that helped me and certain things that didn't help. So what were the things that I did different when I did not clear prelims and when I cleared prelims? So I shall be making a series of videos where I will be discussing about the prelims process, about what are the things that needs to be done to clear prelims, what are the mistakes that commonly aspirants do and so on. But in this video, I shall be briefly talking about the roadmap for the next 120 days. During the last 4 months before the prelims, it is high time that aspirants start preparing for the prelims. Since we know that prelims is getting tougher and tougher each year, so it becomes our important responsibility that we have a good plan of action so that we are able to capitalize over the prelims. So let us begin with the video. So the last 4 months for the prelims, we can broadly divide it into the time that can be allocated for the sectional test and the time that can be allocated for the full length test. So if I have to divide the 4 months, then 2 months shall be dedicated to the sectional test and 1.5 months during the last time could be dedicated to full length test. So if we have to further divide the 2.5 months, which is broadly around 10 weeks, then we have to plan in such a way that we are able to finish 1 to 2 complete revision of all the subjects. Along with that, we should be able to clear the sectional test. We should complete all our sectional tests as well as 1 to 2 complete revision of the subjects within the 2.5 months. This becomes very important because the strong foothold if we have over our static syllabus, if we have a great control over the sectional test, then it will reflect into good marks in the full length test. Similarly, during the last 1.5 months before the prelims, we can divide it into 1.25 months, which is 5 weeks for the full length test, and the last 1 week shall be dedicated to only PYQs. This is very important. Usually aspirants, what do they tend to do during the last week before the prelims? They tend to give a lot of full length test because when they had time, they did not give full length test. So they try to bombard themselves with a lot of work during the last week and this stresses them out. So on the day of the exam, when they go, there will be a lot of things that will be running in their mind even before they are attending the exam. So to avoid this, the last 1 week should be dedicated only to the PYQs. There are a lot of benefits if we dedicate last 1 week to the PYQs, which I will be talking in the upcoming videos. Similarly, it is very important that every week we pick up 1 to 2 subjects, and when we study that 1 to 2 subjects, it is our important responsibility that we are giving tests over the subjects that we have studied at the end of the week. We will have to give 1 to 2 tests at the end of the week over the subject that we have studied. This will ensure that we get a good revision. This will ensure and it will give us good confidence so that we are able to attempt other tests. Similarly, another important suggestion as to which are the strong subjects that we need to focus upon. So these are the important pillars. I have divided into the first pillar and second pillar. First pillar consists of subjects which are more important and easier compared to the second pillar. Usually when we see, there are always static questions from polity. There are good conceptual questions asked from economy. there is static questions asked. At times there are easy questions asked from modern history, and at times there are less questions and difficult. Environment, every year there are good number of questions from biodiversity, climate initiatives and so on. Similarly, in IR there are sometimes 3 to 4 questions asked, and there are sometimes 7 to 8 questions asked. But whenever they ask questions on IR, almost 50 to 60% of the questions come from the current affairs magazine that we study. So capitalizing on IR will give us an extra edge. Similarly, mapping. In recent times and from the past 6 years, the importance of mapping has increased. So though these are considered as secondary subjects in general, it is important for us to capitalize on this because it will give us extra marks over others. Similarly, the second pillar which I want to talk about is science and tech. I have kept science and tech in the second pillar because science and tech questions UPSC does not ask in a way in which we study. Usually they do not pick the questions from the routine books that we study. Usually they tend to be a little conceptual, which will try to make us answer on spot during the exam. Similarly, general science, whose importance varies year to year, but usually 1 to 2 questions could be asked from general science, biotechnology part, tissues and such subjects. Similarly, ancient and medieval. Ancient and medieval are important and good number of questions are asked, but we need to know that even though good number of questions are asked, the questions tend to be on a difficult side. So though we have invested a lot of time over ancient and medieval, the returns are comparatively lesser compared to the subjects like polity, economy, geography. Similarly, art and culture. If any important development has happened in art and culture, then we need to focus a little extra on it. I remember in the year 2024, during the actual UPSC exam, there was a question on intangible cultural heritage as to which of the following was added recently over the intangible cultural heritage. I remember studying it in the year 2023, but when I studied it, it was not been asked. But since I was aware of it, I was able to answer it, and the answer to that was Garba of Gujarat. Similarly, human geography. Physical geography is more important compared to human geography, but we cannot neglect human geography because questions like questions over the minerals as to which country is the largest producer of mineral, or the ranking of a particular mineral or a particular agricultural produce with respect to Indian states could be asked, as to which is the rank the following states in the production of sugarcane as to 1, 2, 3, 4. So such things could be asked. So even preparing for human geography to a certain extent becomes important. Another pillar is economic survey and budget. Usually aspirants tend to invest a lot of time over economic survey and budget, but in general direct questions over budget and economic survey is very less expected. So we need to invest good amount of time over these subjects and comparatively lesser time over these subjects. Though science and tech, like I said, there are statements where the aspirants could answer on spot. So such questions are more, and the questions asked from magazines are less. Similarly, so are these subjects. And economic survey and budget, definitely it is important for mains. So whatever is needed for the mains, so that we write good answers, we can prepare that. But there is no need of investing too much of time, like 3 or 4 days or even a week for economic survey. Maybe 1 to 1.5 days, if we are able to dedicate to it, that will be enough. So moving ahead, so just wanted to depict whatever I said. If you see pardoning power of president, which is a static question from Lakshmikant. How are the isotherms bending? Static question from geography and CRT. Non-cooperation movement, it's a very static question. Similarly, an important pillar of economy, receipts, borrowing, disinvestment, how is the government getting revenue, what are the expenditures. So these kind of concepts are important in economy, and these are pocket marks. Similarly, like I said, IR, though current affairs questions are asked, the questions tend to be on an easier side. This is a static thing, Dhaka declaration. BIMSTEC was formed through Dhaka declaration, static thing. Then which were the founding members, even this is static thing. But here they are trying to know your current awareness as to how many members are there, which are the new member that has been joined international organization. So these are the things. Moving on. Similarly, like I said, even if we invest a lot of time over ancient medieval and subjects like science and tech, the returns may not be proportional. The first Gandharva Mahavidyalaya music training school was set up by Vishnu Digambar Paluskar in which of the following regions. Now many of us while studying, we ourselves do not know who this person is, so it becomes very difficult to take guess in such questions or attempt it very easily. Similarly, though when we have studied science and tech, we are aware of what Gaganyaan is, we are aware of what SpaceX is, but look at missions given above encourage and support microgravity research. Microgravity research, when we are studying, we might not have come across, or even if they had mentioned, we might not have focused upon it. So these are comparatively level 2, level 3 sort of questions. I shall be providing a roadmap for the next 4 months, both for the first timers as well as those aspirants who have given prelims prior, but unfortunately were not able to clear it. So broadly I will divide it into 2 tabular columns. So this is for the first timers and this is for those who are yet to clear. So for the first timers, the first 2.5 months, what is that we need to do? Every 6 days we have to finish a subject, and on the 7th day it is very important that we give at least 2 tests. So if it is the first week, suppose if we study polity, it is important for us to complete polity within the 6 days, and on the 7th day, such as Sunday, in the morning from 9:30 to 11:30 we will be giving test 1 of polity, and from 2:30 to 4:30 we will be giving test 2 of polity. If it was for those who have already given prelims, the things will slightly change. Here for every 4 days we will have to finish one subject and give 2 tests on the 5th day. Now why have I reduced the number of days in this category? Because these people, they have already studied, they have already given 2 to 4 revisions of the subjects, so it is easier for them to finish the subject compared to those of first timers. Even in this category, aspirants would have given 8 months or 1 year of preparation, so it is not that you are studying for the first time. So here you will have to complete within a static subject within 6 days, there within 4 days. And why am I stressing to give 2 tests on the 7th day? Because usually what do aspirants do? If it is Sunday morning from 9:30 to 11:30 they give the test, within 1:30 or 2 they finish the test analysis, and for the rest of the day they halt and do nothing. So if Sunday is something which you want to relax to a certain extent, then give that 2 tests, do a little bit of test analysis related to that, and then you can take that 4 to 5 hours off for the rest of the day. Similarly, once we have finished these 2.5 months and we have finished all our sectional tests and we have finished 2 revisions of a static subject, then during the next 10 days it is important that we revise. Another thing, like I said, if we give 10 weeks for the sectional, then we would have completed 20 tests, whereas in this category if we are given 10 weeks, then we would have completed 30 tests of a sectional. So in this category 20 sectional tests, in that category 30 sectional tests. So here once we have completed a sectional thing, then during the next 10 days we need to revise everything once again, because in a sectional every week we are studying only one subject. So here we are dedicating 10 subjects, 10 weeks for 10 different pillars. So after that we would have forgotten many of the things that we have studied like 1 or 1.5 months ago. So during the next 10 days it is important that we revise everything. The next 10 days we will have to revise everything, and it is same in both the category. 10 days is a lot of time, I know. This depends upon you. You can give 7 days, you can give 10 days, that is left to you. If you are giving 7 days, then the next 3 days you can give 1 to 2 tests, or you can prepare your CSAT. So it depends upon you. But if at all you have studied very well, if at all you are given a lot of sectional tests, then it becomes important to revise it very well before going to the full length, because sectional tests tend to be comparatively easy and full length tests are comparatively difficult. So before giving the full length test, you need to develop that confidence to give confidence. So once this is done, the next 25 days you need to give full length. Next 25 days full length. And for full length, what I am suggesting is every second day you will have to give one test. Every second day in the sense, suppose you are giving a test on Monday morning, then you will be giving a test on Wednesday, then you will be giving a test on Friday, then you will be giving a test on Sunday. So weekly you will be giving 4 GS tests. The same applies even in that category. So every week you will be giving 4 tests. Now this might be hectic, I know it is, but you have taken more time here. You have taken 10 days to revise. So within these 10 days, whether you revise it once or whether you revise it twice, it's left to you. You can divide this 10 days into 6 and 4. During the first 6 days or 7 days, you are revising once, and during the last 3 or 4 days, you are revising twice. So once you revise twice, you have that confidence to give the full length test. So here, all you need to do is to do a little bit of test analysis, apply your brain, and apply whatever you have studied. There is not much that you need to study when you come to this phase. So once this is done, during the last 1 week, we will be focusing only on PYQs. This is very important thing which aspirants fail to do. During the last week, all we need to do is to focus on PYQs and revision and nothing else. And once this is done, the total number of tests in this category will be 32 to 33 tests that you would have given other than the PYQs. And in this category, it would have been 42 to 43 tests. Now this is basic minimum. If you are a first timer, there is no reason that you should be giving less than 30 tests. And if you are someone who have attempted prelims 1 to 2 times or more, but you are unable to clear it, then it becomes an extra responsibility for yourself that you clear prelims this time. So you will have to do a little bit of extra work, because you know that things have not worked for you in the past, but this is the time that you need to pull up your socks and work towards it. So in your category, you will be giving more tests. So this is the basic minimum. For first timers, it's 30, and for others, it is 40. You can give more tests based upon your comfort, but this is the floor. So the last week plan we will be discussing here. See, these are broad suggestions. You can make changes to this based on your comfort, but this is one of the standard things which many of the toppers follow, and it has helped them. From Monday to Friday during the last week, every day morning, it is important that you give one test of the PYQ. Start from the recent years, 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021. So you will be giving 5 years of PYQ. See, you have seen PYQs to take reference while studying. You have seen PYQs many times. You have come across it. So it is not that you are seeing the novel questions while attempting it. So here, when you are attempting a PYQ, actually you do not need 2 hours. You might finish it within 1.5 hours or 1 hour 40 minutes. So, but still, even if you have an idea of the PYQs, but still sit, give the PYQs year-wise from Monday to Friday. Later, from afternoon, finish the analysis here. Once you give the test, next 1 hour, finish the analysis. Then have lunch. Then from afternoon till night, do the revision. Revision is very important during the last week, because most of the things, they are memory related, and if you are able to recall it, will you be confident while attending the exam. Then on Saturday, revise the things that you forget. There are certain things which are conceptual, there are certain things which you need to mug up. So things which you need to mug up or remember, keep it during the last 1 to 2 days before the exam. If I have to expand it, then Monday to Friday revision plan. See, conceptual part we will have to do on Monday and Tuesday. What do you mean by conceptual part? Economy, which are more conceptual. We can do economy. Then things which we don't forget, we could do modern history, which are relatively easier. We can do geography during the first 2 days. Then during Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we can pick, on Thursday and Friday, we can pick up things like ancient and medieval. Saturday, we need to keep it for mapping, because we'll have to remember a lot of things, straits, isthmus, regions, countries that are touching different oceans, different seas and so on. So the memory oriented things, keep it during the last 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Conceptual oriented things which require a lesser amount of memory, keep it on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Next, every day, try to balance it. Study one big subject. Let me clear it. So every day, study one big subject and one small subject. For example, you can pair up polity with IR during the last revision. Then you can pair up environment with geology. Do not try to take up 2 bulky subjects, because you may not be able to complete it within 1 day. For instance, if you are taking polity and economy, both are bigger subjects. So you might not be able to complete both the subjects on same day, and it might affect your confidence. So likewise, if I have to speak about the daily plan while you are preparing for the prelims, then every day we can begin a day with a newspaper. around 1 hour. Then we can pick up our statics content or the static subject, and we will have to put at least 6 hours of work on a static. Then we pick up current affairs and study for about 1.5 hours. And then when we are preparing for prelims exclusively, it is very important that at least every day you need to keep a control over the MCQ solving. So every day you can pick up 10 to 15 MCQs online or offline and you can solve it. Alternatively, you can also pick up 20 PYQs and solve it every day. This plan from beginning when we have 20 days for the exam. So this is what every day you can do. You can start your day with a newspaper to get a fresh outlook over the subject. Then you can study your static, because static is the most important pillar for preparing, for clearing, whether it is prelims or whether it is mains. Then you can pick up current affairs. At the end of the day, when you are more bored, you want a subject which is little bit exciting. So you can pick up current affairs and study it. And in current affairs, if you are studying daily news and making notes of it, then do not go for magazine. If you are doing magazine, then do not make notes of daily news. You pick either daily or compilation magazines, but do not try to go for multiple sources for current affairs, because the utility or the returns that will give you in the exam is less. Then after everything is done, this is another recommendation: just sit and recall everything you learnt. How does this help? When you sit and recall whatever you learnt, it gives you confidence and it gives you a sense of satisfaction, because you planned that you will study polity for the next 1 week, and when you complete polity each part, it gives you a sense of confidence and it will give boost to your preparation. So this thing is to be done just to give that mental support, to calm your mental health, and it will imbibe confidence within you. So these were the things which I wanted to discuss for the aspirants, because this is high time that we start preparing for prelims. In the upcoming videos, I will also be discussing about the prelims process in detail and talking about the comprehensive strategy that is needed for prelims. So thank you for watching.